Week 6, day 3. The quality this week is hard working. And the minute you say that, a lot of times you turn people off. I tell you, when hard working becomes fun, I can go out and work in my garden all day. Neither of my kids love to garden. So that was really work to them. It's when you turn around and you realize that it's not work. Zig Ziglar said one time that he used to jog 4 and 5 miles every day. And he would always brag about, I'm running 4 miles. And if you see a lot of these people that jog, the faces they make, you go, now how can that be good for you? They look terrible. Well, Zig said he was jogging one time, and it was a beautiful day, 75 degrees, and he was jogging around a campus up on the West Coast. And he said he realized for the first time in his life, this is not work. There's nothing greater than what I'm doing. We had a group of guys come and watch our what we call boot camp. And at that time, we were in Marshall, and it was called the Maverick Maker. And it was a very difficult thing to go through. I mean, it was a true boot camp type military running ropes, mat drills, and command weights. And they had come because they were interested in me moving to another job. And these were people from the other school. And they came and they offered me the job. And I asked them, I said, why? Why did you offer me the job? They said, well, everybody worked their kids really hard in the off season. But said what we were interested in finding out is that your really big kid, and the boy's name was Stanley Thomas, came out and sat down beside us and said he was just soaked with sweat. And he had just really had a difficult day. And we looked at him and we said, boy, you guys work hard. And he looked at us and he said, no, we have fun. We're doing what we love to do with the people we love to do it with. This ain't work. Picking cucumbers is work. This is fun. Well, I think that was the reason that we had the success that we did. They didn't see it as hard work. They saw it as fun. And when you get good enough at it, that's what it becomes. Now, you got to get to that point that you're good enough at it. The story, I'm going to read this story again today, and this is page 42 of your curriculumdevelopingcharacter.org, page 42. Several years ago, Bernard Haygood and Jimmy Glenn were driving in the South Alabama foothills on a hot August day. They were thirsty, so Bernard pulled behind an old abandoned farmhouse with a water pump in the yard. He hopped out of the car, ran over to the pump, grabbed the handle, and started pumping. After a moment or two, Bernard pointed to an old bucket and suggested to Jimmy that he get the bucket and dip some water out of a nearby stream in order to prime the pump. As all pumpers know, you got to put a little water in the top of the pump to prime the pump and get the flow of the water started. In the game of life, before you can get anything out, you got to put something in. Unfortunately, there are so many people who stand in front of the stove of life and say, "Stove, give me some heat, and then I'll put some wood in you." Life doesn't work that way. Just like the pump, you got to put something into life before you can expect to get anything out of it. Now, if you'll just transfer this knowledge to the rest of your life, you can solve many of your problems. You're not going to get anything out except what you put in. The farmer must plant his seed in the spring or the summer before he reaps the harvest in the fall. He also puts in lots of work before the crop reaches the harvest stage. The student puts in hundreds of hours of work before he acquires the knowledge and the graduation certificate. The secretary of today, who is the office manager tomorrow, puts a considerable amount of extra effort into her job. The athlete of today who becomes a champion of tomorrow puts in a great deal of himself in the form of sweat and effort before he reaps the champion reward. The junior executive of today who becomes the corporate president tomorrow is that individual who puts himself into the job. It's a matter of putting yourself in, and it's hard work. There's so many students that I have had, they'll say, "Coach, if you'll pass me this 6 weeks, Next week, I promise I'll turn all my work in. That doesn't work that way. You got to put it in before it happens. There used to be a commercial, and I only saw it one time, and I always thought they should have run it every program that I watched. But they were talking to these athletes, and they were saying, did you go to the concert last summer? The big concert at the beach? No. Did you see the new movie? Did you see that movie, so-and-so? No. Did you go to Billy's party? You know, Billy had that graduation. Did you? No. What have you been doing? Training. And these people were all people that were going to participate in the Olympics before it got canceled. Now, how did they get to that stage? They didn't go to the concerts. They didn't go to the movies. They didn't go to the parties. They put in the work. And so they deserve to go. You don't get out of life what's fair. What you get out of life is what you deserve. If you put something in, if you put in hard work, then you're going to expect something out of it. If you don't put anything into it, it's no big deal if you don't get anything out of it. The more you put in, the more you expect out. It's true with a marriage. It's true with athletics. It's true with your studies. It's true with your job. If you don't put yourself in, if you're not a hard-working individual, if you don't work hard to make it a great marriage, if you don't work hard today to make this a great day, I'm talking about working hard to make this a great day. Something bad is going to happen to you today. I promise you. Something bad is going to happen to you today. And you got two choices. You can whine about it and moan about it, and it's still going to be a bad day. Or you can say, okay, I've got this bad circumstance. I'm going to take it and make something good with it. You're working hard to make it a great day. You don't have a good game, we've talked about before, and you change the language. You start making it a great game, make it a great day, make it a great marriage. And you do that by putting in the hard work. First question, what must you put in to prime the pump in this class? You're in this class. I'm the facilitator, not the teacher. I am not pouring character into you. I am pulling character out of you. I am the facilitator. And what do you got to do? Well, you got to write answers. You got to listen to the stories. You got to write answers. You got to keep a plus or minus chart at the top of each page for how you develop your character. You got to write 3 goals. What do you got to do to prime them? This is what you got to do. You got to sit and visit with someone about hard work and what it is. What about your other classes? What do you have to do in them in order to prime the pump? To get something out of it, what are you going to have to put in? You need to write these things down. To get out of high school, what is it that you want? To get out of basketball, football, baseball, track, sales, whatever it might be, what do you got to put in? And you need to write that down. Here's what I've got to put in. If I'm going to be this, here's what I got to do. If it's the same thing as making a plan for your goals, you figure out what it is you got to do to prime the pump. Let's get the pump primed. Amen? See you tomorrow.